Hey, good evening folks, it's Rob here, and this evening I'd like to welcome you to this episode 109 of Tetrakey TV, and this evening I'm going to answer a question that I have been asked by a number of people. Tonight is of so much importance to you if you're a business owner, an executive, or somebody who wants to perform to a much higher level, that I'm going to ask, as soon as you get the opportunity to watch this video, that you click share immediately. In fact, you click share and you write some text to ask other people to watch this and share it. I had somebody today say, I really like what you do in terms of the Facebook Lives and Tetrakey TV. I like all the content, but what is it that you really do with a client? What is it that I can really do to go in and take all this stuff and put it into practice? And tonight, I want to share with you exactly what that is and exactly what it is that you need to be doing to go and compete, to go and win, to go and succeed, to go and be the very best version of you, to go and get done whatever it is you wish to get done, simply just be happier, whatever it might be. And I'm going to share that. Most of you will know, and if you don't know, that Mark and I have both competed in sport at a relatively high international level, and have both coached people at a relatively high level as well. And both still do coach in sport to this day. And what I want to talk about tonight is about what an athlete does. A world-class athlete understands that you cannot perform at 100% physiologically or psychologically the entire time. In fact, it's almost impossible to do that. They understand that there's going to be peaks in their performance, and there's going to be moments that they have to work towards that are going to be defining moments. And you can imagine that for an athlete. Maybe that might be a World Cup or a World Championships. Maybe it might be a Olympic final. Maybe it might be a super long race of some sort, like a comrades race like we've just experienced in South Africa, which is a double marathon. And athletes train specifically for those things. They train, they practice, then they train some more. They will compete, but they may well choose to what level they're going to compete, as in how much they're going to put in. And they train, they practice some more. And a lot of athletes train in a 4 to 9 year window, just for one moment, just for that moment, just for that Olympic final, that World Cup A final. They train just for that moment. And so what is it that we do with our clients? Well, as a person who wishes to achieve more or be more, we enable you to preempt and predict when those moments that you're going to have to perform at 100% of the very best version of you is going to be, when your business is going to be at its absolute, it's going to be the showcase, it's going to have to be perfect, when you're going to have to perform like you've never performed before. And some of those things we can preempt and plan for, just like you could do with an Olympics. And others of those things you cannot preempt and plan for. You know, it could just be meeting that one person who, when they say, what is it that you do? Unless you've got a pitch perfect, brilliant, planned and rehearsed, fearless 30 seconds about what it is you do, you're going to miss that one opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, can you imagine if that person was a Sir Richard Branson or a Jeff Bezos or a Bill Gates or maybe a Mark Zuckerberg, who's got the opportunity to enable you to have a game-changing difference? They ask what it is that you do, and you stumble over the words. Maybe, and for some people, it's just how they go about dressing themselves. Believe it or not, many people out there struggle to look comfortably and be comfortable in their own skin, wearing different forms of clothing, be it relaxed to super formal. And so we work with people to help them gear themselves up for those defining moments, those moments where it has to work at 100%, if it doesn't, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity missed. That involves a whole series of training and a whole series of practicing. And often if you go and speak to an athlete, the training and the practicing really is not that glamorous. It's time consuming, it's energy consuming, it involves long hours, it involves rehearsal, it involves taking and doing things that maybe you would not normally have positioned yourself to do. Maybe it involves letting go of limiting beliefs that hold you back. Maybe it involves engaging in things that previously you thought was completely wacko or too far out there. And it's really, really interesting on that note that when I end up with a client who says, I just don't believe that's possible, what they're really saying is they don't believe that they can ever achieve 100%. Because probably the thing that they don't believe is possible is 100% the thing they need to be concentrating on to go and make the biggest difference for them. And so we work with clients to enable them to go and look at when those peak performance moments are going to be in the short, medium and long term. We then work with clients to rehearse, to practice, to train for those moments. So when that moment arrives, they can give the very, very, very best version of themselves, a flawless performance where they could have not done anything better than what they did. This allows them to capitalize on every single opportunity that comes to them and to not miss out on the opportunities that present themselves. Part of this is about opportunity recognition. You see very, very, very many people stumble through life and miss 50, 60, 70, or even 90% of the golden opportunities that are passed to them. Maybe this is you. Maybe you have missed those opportunities and kicking yourself today for having missed those opportunities. And you've missed those opportunities in the past, but here's the thing. If you want to go and take anything from this episode of Tetrakey TV, I'd ask you to crystal ball into the future, into what your goals, your ambitions are. And when is it that you are going to need to perform at the 100% best version of you? When is it that you know that's going to be the case? You can put a date in the calendar, just like you could do for an Olympic finals. And when is it that it's most likely to happen? Is it most likely to happen in a certain pub at, let's say, 5 p.m. on a Tuesday evening? And you're not too sure when. And I've got a good example of that. I do a bit of networking in a pub over a beer at about 5 to 7 p.m., occasionally on Tuesday evenings. And in that particular pub, there is a series of high net worth, influential people who also gather in there on occasions at random. And so I prepare myself for that because I know that my opportunity to get in conversation with one of them is significantly high. And when I do and represent myself well, the likelihood of me pulling off a new opportunity for myself and for themselves is high as well. And so when I walk into that pub on a Tuesday evening at that time, I'm very consciously aware of what it is that I need to be doing. You know, having a beer or 2 beers and being sociable is one thing, but beers 4, 5 and 6 would make no sense because I would just screw myself up. So I get ahead of my own curve that far. So I encourage you to get ahead of your own curve and help others to get ahead of theirs, to preempt when it is that they're going to need to perform or you are going to need to perform at 100% the best version of you, and know what that performance is going to be. Likely it's going to be a very, very short window in time. Even if your version of performance is a ultra marathon, a double marathon, actually that race comes down to a lot of training, a lot of practice, And it comes down to a whole lot of planning about how you run that race. And then it comes down to a whole series of defining decisions and moments throughout that race, probably each one lasting 30 seconds and probably no more than 3 or 4 throughout that race for you to go and give the very best version of you to get the result that you wish. That's exactly what we do with our clients. We enable them to document it, to get far enough ahead of their own curve and perform at the very best version of them at the 100% mark when it absolutely matters. Now, of course, you can do that for yourself. Plan, prepare, get ahead of your own curve, and know what to expect and when to expect it. If you want to help out anybody who you know, this is the Tetrakey TV episode to share. Then people can go back and they can read one of our books, and book 3 is coming out in a few weeks' time. They can go back and read books 1 and 2, which you'll find on our Facebook newsfeed for free, or on Amazon if you want to go and buy one. And you can go and take the material in there and go and think, well, what is it that I'm going to have to do? When, how, why, in what quantity, and for what impact? Then you can start practicing and rehearsing. A great strategy for that, if you're into going to meet new people for networking or business meetings, as an example, is to verbally speak out loud and rehearse in your car journey on your own on the way there. Getting your first 3 to 4 sentences absolutely perfect to have the best possible impact with the people you're going to meet when you meet them. So that's it from me. Please share this. Please like this. Please engage. And please let me know how it is that you practice and train as a business person or an executive, or just a person who wants to get more out of life. And if you want a hand with that, get in touch. Let's do some work together. Stay amazing, and remember that perfect practice makes perfect permanent. Good night.